Rise and shine on 3. 1, 2, 3. Rise and shine!
Welcome, Spartan fans, to the first edition of Inside Alexander Football Two-A-Days. Man, it feels pretty good. Football is officially back.
Yeah, dude, we got up at 5 o'clock this morning with coffee in hand, but we made it.
We made it, and the guys just wrapped up their first official practice, their first two-a-days. You know, Pat, obviously Alexander, the reigning TVCU Ohio champions, but Coach Penrod made it clear from the get-go today that that's kind of behind them, and this is a new season this year.
Yeah, absolutely. They have a target on their back, and they know that, but Coach Penrod addressed that at the very beginning of practice, the morning meeting, actually in his classroom, and now they're not going to talk about it for the rest of the season. You know, that's the goal once again, and they're going to get there. But like I said, in his class, Nathan, I don't know how many football teams are starting two-a-days, not on the football field, but in the classroom.
Yeah, in the classroom, a little chalk talk. They had a motivational video that they watched to get them all pumped up, talking about some X's and O's, and then hit the field around 7:30, and they went offense first. And Pat, man, this offense, they look completely different than when we saw them in Rio Camp, a lot more mature now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're leagues from where they were at Rio Grand Camp, just a lot less mental mistakes. You know, Coach Penrod said after practice, I mean, after all those off-season reps, he can tell which ones were there and which ones were not. So, I mean, it's definitely getting there before the games and the scrimmages begin, but they still have a long way to go.
Definitely a lot less mental mistakes, but like you said, a lot more work to do. They got a little break around 9:30, then hit the field again at 10, and it was the defense time to shine. It looked like the starting defense, what could be the starting defense, faced the scout offense, and there were a lot of vocal leaders in that defensive group.
Oh yeah, and that second practice, whew, was it a hot one. I mean, that first practice was all right, but that second one, that's where the fatigue sets in. But they have so much intensity coming out into that second practice. And yeah, I mean, like you said, a lot of vocal leaders out there, even though it's a young team. And like we saw Chase Harris in the middle of that starting defensive huddle. And he said, you know, guys, we're not in full pads yet. That's coming in a couple days. So we're not in full pads quite yet, but these are where we get our mental reps. And, you know, Nathan, that's where you're going to see, you know, in the fourth quarter come football season, those mental reps, you know, how deep can you dig when the fourth quarter's there? I mean, that's going to be the difference between a win and a loss.
Oh, definitely. And that intensity was there, even though they're not hitting quite yet. It was a very intense practice. I heard AJ Marks, another senior leader, say this one's personal. It was just a scrimmage. So I think they might be hearing a lot of doubts about their team, and they're fired up and ready to go this season. And yet, Pat, at the end of practice, the guys had the chance to have a little bit of a fun competition involving some ropes.
Oh yeah, they were having a blast. I mean, that was where the intensity just went off the charts. I mean, it was a simple game even. You know, I mean, Coach Penrod had 2 ropes, and he said one-on-one. You pick a partner, and it's tug of war. You know, and you know, without pads, that's about as intense as it gets. You know, guys are going back and forth, just absolutely loving it. They were screaming their heads off, and that's the way to end practice, because, you know, without having pads on right now and just beginning the first day when everybody's up early, you got to keep the guys fresh with a little bit of fun, and Coach Penrod definitely did that.
Oh, definitely. The guys were surrounding him in a circle. Even Coach Penrod was getting in the huddle, all hyped up. So it was a fun way to end the day. So this concludes day 1 of two-a-days from the Alexander Spartans. We're going to be out here every day bringing videos to you on the Spartan Endzone pages. So for Patrick Klinger, I'm Nathan Wiseman, and we'll see you tomorrow.